In this video, we're gonna talk about the top 9 most expensive car crash tests of all time. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. In the US, thousands of fender benders occur daily, and most vehicles can be replaced. Supercars and hypercars can be irreparable if crashed. Most people consider owning a supercar a privilege. Others see it as just another thing they own. In any case, we come across some horrific crashes that destroy some of the world's most sought-after vehicles. The prices may vary, but that doesn't make it any easier to read for us auto enthusiasts. If you're lucky enough to drive an exotic and unlucky enough to damage it, you probably get whiplash or muscular strain. Here are the top 9 most expensive car crash tests of all time. So let's begin. Number 9. Bugatti Veyron. A brand new Bugatti Veyron will set you back almost $2 million. None of the 3 big businesses tested this Bugatti supercar. Why is this happening exactly? It would be too expensive to crash a supercar that many times to receive a rating. Bugatti tested the supercar in a variety of situations with just one vehicle. The manufacturer then fixes the car and subjected it to another crash test. Additionally, Bugatti has its own crash simulation program that produces crash data. This provides the business with a less expensive approach to test the security of the supercars like the Veyron. The irony, my supercar owner Andy House practically went swimming with his 2006 Bugatti Veyron in 2009. House claims that a pelican flew into his path, and he was driving alongside a lagoon in Texas and caused him to drive into the lagoon. The crash was captured on camera, and since no birds were visible, House was left to cope with a rejected insurance claim. He had previously lost a $1 million supercar, but in 2015, he was ultimately given a year in federal jail. Along with the $600,000 he returned to the insurance company and the 3 years of the supervision following his release, that sentence was part of his punishment. Number 8. Koenigsegg Regera. Like the Veyron, the Koenigsegg Regera costs roughly $2 million. Brands require about a dozen vehicles for the various situations in order to gather adequate data from the crash test simulations. Koenigsegg will produce just roughly 80 of the total number of the Regera supercars. As you might expect, Koenigsegg isn't stopping manufacturing for a year to conduct crash tests. Like Bugatti, Koenigsegg does all crash tests on a single car, which is then repaired after each test. This supercar has not received any safety ratings. Number 7. Pagani Vara. A Pagani supercar might never be seen on the streets by certain people. If you can ever find one, the Pagani Vara costs almost $2.4 million, making it one of the most expensive cars in the world. The V12 supercar boasts 791 horsepower. It hasn't undergone any primary tester crash tests. One day, Pagani accidentally crashed a Vara while driving, but it was unharmed. So, was there any deliberate testing of the supercar crashes? Pagani did not provide any details in private. The Pagani Vara performed satisfactorily in one online test frontal impact crash test. Does this reassurance prospective purchasers about the supercar security? Likely not. In conclusion, it appears that an automobile undergoes less accident tests the more expensive it is. Given the strength of these supercars, that's utterly illogical. Although the supercar crash test ratings may not be made public, it appears that the priciest supercars have their own ratings. A 17-year-old YouTuber who was driving with a companion after they collided with a Pagani Vara Roadster in November 2020. Gage Gillian borrowed his father's $3.4 million hypercar, but he tragically lost control and hit a tree. Gage managed to escape the collision with just minor injuries, but the hypercar was irreparably damaged. But don't worry, Tim Gillian, Gage's father, still keeps a variety of the other exotic in the garage. including a Ferrari LaFerrari, a Bugatti Veyron, and a McLaren Senna, to mention a few. Gage continues to drive his wealthy father's multi-million-dollar cars, but I'm sure he learned a very important lesson during the event. Number 6. The new Ferrari A12 Competizione. I have to presume that there is some overlap, even though the movie focused on American crash tests rather than the Euro NCAP ones featured here. Koenigsegg basically said that due to the high cost of each of its automobiles, it rebuilt the one crash test vehicle after every test. 16 crash tests must be completed during US testing, costing more than $30 million for each Koenigsegg regera. Naturally, that isn't the most economical way to operate a corporation. Therefore, the organization has discovered another method. Although a Ferrari A12 Competizione is less expensive, the corporation could be able to accomplish the same thing with a few crash test vehicles, given that the damage doesn't appear to be too severe. The A12 Competizione generates 513 pound-feet of torque and 818 horsepower from its naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12 engine. Ferrari most likely doesn't want to be launching too many of them at a wall, as prices are set at roughly $600,000. Number 5. Raymax C2. Even though this isn't quite an auto wreck, it stings to see. To gather information on safety restraints and actual accident safety outcomes, Raymax tests the Raymax C2 in this video. Despite Richard Hammond's unintentional crash testing in 2017 while recording an episode of the Grand Tour, Raymax still required formal testing of their most recent prototype. Here's a video to remind those of you who may have forgotten about the Richard's third near-death experience. The C2 will cost $2.4 million once it's released, and although that may seem like a lot of money, it will have the power to support it. The C2 has a staggering 1,887 bhp and 1,696 pound-feet of torque and can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in only 1.97 seconds and from 0 to 100 miles per hour in just 4.3 seconds. Number 4. SSC tuatara. In May 2021, The Drive reported SSC transporting a tuatara to Florida for another high-speed record attempt, but unfortunately, it never made it to the destination. The car carrier used to transport the $1.6 million, 1,750 horsepower twin-turbocharged V8 Hypercar, which tipped over as a result of the strong winds during transit. Lots of damage to the delicate cargo is said to be repaired as the chassis, drivetrain, and suspension were unharmed in the car carrier topple. This car is chassis number 001 and was due to set a high-speed record of well over 300 miles per hour. But that will have to wait until it's back in shape. Number 3. Pagani Zonda F Clubsport. Stefan Korbach, a German investment banker, was traveling at a moderate pace in his expensive $2 million hypercar on a wet Italian motorway when he hit a puddle and hydroplaned into a traffic barrier in 2011. While the 1 of 25 Zonda appears to be entirely destroyed, Korbach and his passengers were both able to escape the crash. By chance, Korbach had ordered a Pagani Vara to replace his Zonda F Clubsport and was his route to Milan to see it. He had a fantastic set of wheels, even though he never made it to Milan. He also had a Lamborghini, a Gambella Mirage, and 2 Bugatti Veyrons. Number 2. Toyota Corolla 2020 laden NCAP crash test. The 45 TDI, 50 TDI, and 55 TSI Quattro Tiptronic test results are valid. Both the left-hand drive and the right-hand drive versions of the SUV's crash test data were provided. As is common knowledge, all vehicles were tested in crash tests using their base configuration. 8 airbags, seatbelt pretensioners with load limiters, speed assistance, land keep assist, autonomous emergency braking for pedestrians and cyclists in the city and inter-urban environments. Among other safety features were standard on the Q8, which was put through crash testing. Number 1. Global NCAP will crash test more Indian cars in November 2019. The Audi Q8 arrives in India on 15 January 2020 as of now. The Q855 TFSI, that's powered by a 3.0-liter V6 petrol engine, is expected to be the version that will come to India. The flagship SUV of the premium car maker is expected to come with a price tag of 1 crore rupees as soon as Audi launches the Q8 in India. It will take on the Range Rover Sport, Porsche Cayenne, and the upcoming BMW X6, which is also expected to launch in 2020. What do you think of our video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.